Welcome back to another video, good people. How's your heart today? Is your heart kind? How's your mind today? Is your mind calm? I didn't plan on making a video, so I'm resting my phone held in both my hands while my elbows are on my knees, so I hope it's not too shaky. I want to discuss my experiences in the 12-step program, where I was introduced to spirituality. I might have heard of it before I went to AA, but I didn't pay much attention to it. So now I'm in the program. We'll go to the end, the 12th step, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps. Well, how do you have a spiritual awakening as the result of these steps? What is a spiritual awakening? So in the beginning of that big book, the basic text of AA, there's a little story in there about religious experiences, a book written by a man named William James, The Variety of Religious Experiences. So I bought that book and I read it. And when you're first introduced to stuff like this, you don't comprehend all of it. And I've always said to myself, sometimes you don't have to really focus a whole lot and try to memorize a book you're reading. Just read it. Your eyes are taking a video of it, and the information, what you're reading there, the words, is logged into the data files in your mind. So it's there. And later on in your life, as you have these different experiences, one day you might say, oh, that's what that William James meant in that book, Variety of Religious Experiences. So anyway, how do you recover from any addiction? The first is abstinence. That's in that basic textbook. Abstinence. The doctor has an opinion on that. In that basic text, there are doctors that have written letters to the founders of AA. And of course, they mention abstinence. They also mention that when you're in an addiction, in the throes of it, you're spiritually sick, your life is unmanageable. They believe that only a great psychic change could have an effect on recovery. Let's go back to the beginning of that book. The book was written by the first 100 men and women who recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. And he actually used the word recovered. R-E-C-O-V-E-R-E-D. Recovered. They've recovered from it. From what? A seemingly hopeless state of mind and body. And then it says how we recovered is the purpose of this book. Part of the recovery, some of the recovery, a lot of the recovery, most of the recovery, all of the recovery has to do with a spiritual awakening, a psychic change, or, as it says in Appendix B in the back of the big book, we've had that profound personality change sufficient to bring about recovery. In that book, the basic text of AA, there's a sentence that jumped out at me early on in recovery. There are many, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, what I call spiritual nuggets in that book. Spiritual nuggets. And this is one of them. I believe it's after the fifth, we take the fifth step. We were rocketed into the fourth dimension. We were rocketed into the fourth dimension of existence. We never even dreamed. We were rocketed into the fourth dimension of existence. We never even dreamed. Paraphrasing, but pretty close. I'm like, what does this mean? Rocketed, R-O-C-K-E-T-E-D, into the fourth dimension of existence. Fourth dimension of existence that we never even dreamed of. And we're talking about my curiosity 30-some years ago. When I look back on it now, I truly believe what the author of the big book was saying is, he was talking about transcendence. Transcendence. And transcendence is when we exist or experience above the normal level or above the physical level. We exist or experience above the normal level, above the physical level. And I remember asking some people about, what does that mean? What does it mean, rocketed into the fourth dimension of existence we never even dreamed of? What does that mean? Don't worry about it. Don't drink, don't think, and go to meetings. I'm not bashing the 12 steps, I'm just, or the program or the people in it. I'm telling you what my experiences were. And no, I don't sit here now and say, well, if I'd have known that way back, what that meant, rocketed into the fourth dimension, I could have expanded my spiritual condition a long time ago. I don't go there. I can tell you this. The focus, from my experience in my area, is on going to meetings. That's the focus. Oh, you have to have a home group. You don't want to be homeless in AA, whatever that means. So then you do that. Well, you need to take commitments. Take a coffee commitment. You need to take commitments. Okay. All these things. And maybe some people don't have the capacity to understand these quantum theories that are in that book. And so, for them, just going to meetings, taking commitments, and that works for them. As I look at my life today, I'm grateful that I went and became a member of that society. I wasn't forced to go. It wasn't that I was facing arrest or go to AA or a judge says if I don't, you're going to jail. It wasn't like that. I knew at that point I was at the end of my rope. I was at that jumping off place. I didn't know about AA. Didn't know about spiritual principles. And so one thing led to the other, and here I am today, sharing my experience, strength, and hope. If I don't continue the maintenance of my spiritual condition, if I get complacent, if I allow the activities of the day to consume me, it won't be long until I return to that hopeless state of mind and body. The urge to drink or do anything else has gone, and it will stay gone, contingent on the maintenance of my spiritual condition. Does a thought come every now and again? Rarely. Rarely. And people, places, and things, I avoid people, places, and things that aren't just triggers to the old life. I avoid them because I have no reason to be involved with certain people, places, and things. So, in closing, let's go back to transcendence. Transcendence means existing or experiencing above the normal level, above the physical level. You can couple that to spiritual people moving from one dimension to another, a higher dimension. Now, I could make a video, I suppose, on the third dimension, what that includes, moving to the fourth dimension, the differences there and the improvements in your life, and then moving from the fourth dimension to the fifth dimension. Most people don't understand this. You could look it up, actually. Google, what is the third dimension? Google, what is the fourth dimension? Google, moving from the fourth dimension to the fifth dimension. Read it. If you don't understand it, remember what I said at the beginning of this video? Read it anyway. And I guarantee you, somewhere down the road, you'll be involved in a conversation, or you'll be watching a video or reading a book, and you'll read something, see something, hear something, and say, oh, that's what that means. That's what that means. So I did my meditation on the deck this morning, 5 or 10 minutes. I had to pay a bill for and it's not past due. I just go online, dial a number, put in my loan number, and then pay the bill. Sometimes paying some bills is difficult. It's not about not having the money. I'm not rich either, but it's not about having the money. Just sometimes something I've done 100 times already is difficult. Why? I'm not sure. I don't always sit down and try to figure it out. I just know when that happens. I go on the deck for 5 or 10 minutes, as I mentioned before, let my thoughts flow like a creek. Then my thoughts get still, stop, slow down, like that still water in the creek. Today I said, what do I need to do? What do I have to do? What's important? I got to pay that bill. And I said it about 15 times because I knew that's what I had to do. I had to experience what was above the normal level and remind myself. Above the normal level is repeating it 20 times. I need to pay that bill when I go back in the house. I need to pay that bill when I go back in the house. And you could apply that to anything you have to do that you're putting off. They call it procrastination. I get that. I've studied people long enough. I've studied neuroscience, psychology. Just for some people, these things happen, like I just mentioned with that bill. And I went in and I paid it. And now I'm like, what the heck? Johan, what the heck? This just happens once in a while. And there could be other things on my mind, and there are. There's a lot of issues I'm trying to resolve over my health care. I'm not down about it. I'm not worried about it. You know, it's a situation. I've taken the steps to try to resolve the issue, and now I need to just sit back, be patient, and see what develops, or watch it develop. When you're at that point, you just let it go. You know, like the Serenity Prayer says, I've done what I needed to do. There's nothing else I have to do or could do. Now I just wait as it develops. Make it an amazing day. Make it. It's your choice, your decision, what kind of day you're going to have. And not just that, make it an amazing life. It's your choice, it's your decision, what kind of life you're going to have. So have a good one. Keep your heart kind. Keep your mind calm. See you in the next video.